Over there.
Sound beef chicken or what? Yeah. Hi everybody, welcome to the Feathered Friend Show. My name is Matt. Glad you came by to join us today because we have some beautiful birds we want to introduce you to, like the chicken on the wall and like Abby here. Abby is a sun conure, a beautiful little parrot from South America. We want to welcome you to the show. Glad you're here and hope you learned something about the important parts birds have in our world. Hope you see some cool hats on the audience, but also while you're here we want you to learn something. So if you like what the birds do, also please feel free to clap for them. And if you like my dumb jokes, you're also welcome to clap and laugh. Whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm all tongue-tied. We'll send Abby home. She did a great job. How about a practice round of applause for Abby? Good job. Okay, in our show today, we're going to be having our birds do stuff you see them do every day of their life in the wild. Flying is a good example of that. Of course, flying helps you find food, helps you avoid being food, and all sorts of other important things. So we're going to have another hawk do some flying for you now, or another bird, and she is a hawk. Her name is Saguaro. So keep your eyes on this door right behind me. Saguaro's going to demonstrate how a hawk catches its food. Now, if you guys will do me a favor in the middle, will you keep those balloons down for just a sec? All right, keep your eyes on Saguaro. This is the last thing a squirrel ever sees. Wham! Good job. That is how you catch your food if you're a predator. Cut it in low and fast and make the kill with those talons. Now, you see how she's got her wings down? It's very normal behavior in the wild. If you're a hawk and you catch your food, you put your wings down. That's called mantling, and it hides your food so another hawk doesn't steal or see it and then try to come along and steal it. Just about the perfect combination of power and grace in one bird, if you ask me. Well, Saguaro, you did a great job, so let's do one more flight. Tuck in those wings, thread the needle. How about a little hand for Saguaro, our parrot? Nice job. Okay. Now, a lot of times when you're at a bird show or you're watching the nature channels, you hear about how animals are connected to each other. We have a really good example of that. That little parrot right over there. That guy's name is Velcro. He's a severe macaw. Now, parrots are about the perfect example of interconnectedness because parrots are very messy. In the wild, they drop seeds, fruits, berries, vegetables, nuts, all sorts of stuff like that. So that gives animals on the ground the chance to eat food that they're not able normally to have access to. Now, probably even more important, though, with the fact that these birds, again, are messy, they spread the seeds of the trees. A lot of times, the seed will go all the way through a parrot and not be touched by its digestive system. It comes out the other end with a little bit of fertilizer, sometimes miles away from the original tree. So that's very important. And a lot of things like to eat parrots, too, when you think about it. Hawks, eagles, falcons, snakes, cats. So not only do they provide food to animals on the forest grounds, but they become food for the predators. And I kind of think we're a little bit like parrots as well. When you think about it, if you use a chemical pesticide, not only do you kill the insect you're trying to kill, but you also kill lots more stuff than that. All sorts of other creatures. And then a lot of times the pesticide gets into the groundwater, which affects the animals drinking and us as well. So really, we're a lot like animals in that everything we do has ramifications. So if you live your life in a way that you're not disturbing too many creatures, we can all share this planet and have a much more beautiful place to live. Well, Velcro did a great job for us, so we're going to send him off to my partner, Patricia. Good job. Velcro, our severe macabre. All right. I think we're going to, I know who we got coming up next. We'll take a break from the flying birds to bring out one that actually can fly. And sometimes he does, but not very often. It's called a red-legged Seriama. Red-legged Seriamas are native to South America. They're a very primitive type of bird. And while we're talking about that, do you know what the ancestors of the birds were? Dinosaurs, yeah. Just really cool, if you ask me. And recently, several dinosaur fossils were found that had feathers. So it's really clear that's where the birds came from. Now again, Seriamas are primitive. They can't fly, but they've got long, skinny legs they chase their food with. Snakes and lizards. And it's not the fact that they eat lizards that's interesting as how they eat them. So pretend that's a real one basking in the sun when along comes a red-legged Seriama. Okay, no problem catching the food with those legs, but this bird doesn't have talons like a hawk does to kill its food. So Seriamas have another interesting way of dealing with that. Once you catch your food, Smash them on a rock. And that's going to kill it. That first one's stunned it, the next one will kill it. Anything after that's meat tenderizer. We call this bird Bam Bam, by the way. It's the easiest part of the whole show. You give him a lizard, he slams it all day long. Which brings us to the hardest part of the show. You know what that is? It's getting the lizard back, yeah. Because he can't fly, and if I try to steal the lizard, he'll fly to the other side of the island and start a slam fest over there. So we're going to try and trade him for his favorite treat. I got a good little piece of food here, because I think that lizard's dead. Ouch! Right, treat behind the door. Door's going to open up. Door's... There we go. Yes, we did it. Let me tell you, that's not as easy as it looks. Good job. Okay, her parents, by the way, are over by the monkey canopy, and they're in the long exhibit behind the monkey. So if you want a little longer look at the Seriamas, go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, well, this is one of my favorite parts of the show coming up next. If everybody's real quiet, we're going to introduce you to a flying owl. Everybody keep your eyes right back there. There he is. That's Ty. Ty is a barn owl. Now listen real close. Not a single noise, and this bird flies through the air. Beautiful bird. Now this type of bird lives all over the world, on every continent except Antarctica. Beautiful flights. Now here comes our favorite, all the way back across the audience, and we're going to say goodbye to Ty. He's looking at you, man. Do you have a mouse over there? Okay. Great job. Ty, our barn owl. How about a little hand? You did a great job. That's a cool bird. A couple quick things about owls. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I got a better way to do this. Let's bring out my partner, Patricia. She's got a native bird, and she'll talk a little bit more about the owls. Unless I'm talking too fast.
You're talking a little bit too fast.
Okay, we'll talk about a little bit more about Ty. You guys heard about the wise old owl probably, right? But if you did get a good close look at his eyes, you might have seen that his eyes are so huge in his tiny little skull that it leaves little room for anything else. Catch my drift? So the wise old owl really is a myth. They're probably one of the least intelligent birds. But the good news is they don't have to be the Einsteins of the bird world to survive, because you notice they fly silently. And their hearing is even better than their eyesight. So owls are very well equipped for hunting at night. And if I haven't taken everything Freedom's going to talk about, we'll bring her out, because she has, again, she's got another bird native to this area. Here she comes. This is Freedom.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Well, you didn't tell everything about owls. Specifically this owl, anyway. His name is Owlix. Oh, give me a little bit of a break. Okay. Gets worse, though. His last name is Trevik. Alex Trevik, star of Jeopardy. Okay, alright. Sorry. Take dumb jokes for 200. Anyway, this guy is a barred owl. He's found on the eastern parts of the United States, so we'll probably see him, or actually probably hear him at night around here, because these are the most prevalent of the hoot owls. Now, if you want to take a closer look, I will go ahead and bring him around. Now, this particular bird has a really interesting story. We do some rehab here on the island, and this is one of our rehab birds. If you take a look at his left eye, it's a bit cloudy, and he is blind in that eye because he was hit by a car. So that's why he's here with us. But it's actually really neat that we get to have a chance to have an owl like this, because it gives all of you a chance to see one up close. And so in a way, he's an ambassador to his species. So how about a nice round of applause for Owlix?
Island has been here for a few hundred years. And we know that because we've got some cypress trees near the edge of the water that are at least a few hundred years old. So we like to tell you a couple of things about the zoo. Make sure you look at the birds in the exhibits, but also keep your eyes for the wild birds that live here naturally. There's probably more species of wild birds than the birds that live here on their own, and or that live here in the zoo. But don't also forget about the trees. Those cypress trees are close relatives of the giant redwoods, and so when you walk around, take a look at them. They're really beautiful trees. Okay, let's see if you guys know what this is. Her name is Shay. It's a kookaburra. Kookaburra, yeah. Laughing kookaburra, a lot of people call it. If you were thinking to yourself, Shay was a kingfisher, you're also right. Kookaburras are the largest of all the kingfishers. And again, if you're a kingfisher, you eat kings, right? But actually, kookaburras don't eat too many fish because they live in the inland dry forests of Australia where there aren't too many fish. So this bird's favorite food is snakes and lizards, just like the Seriama that was out here before that slammed the lizard. Kookaburras don't slam lizards on a rock though. They fly back up into a tree with it and beat the heck out of it on a tree branch. So lizards have tough time in the wild. Now, what this bird is famous for is its laugh. So we're kind of seeing if Shay will do some laughing for us. I can't guarantee she's going to laugh. Sometimes she comes out with a really good laugh. So we'll just give it a shot. We're going to play a recording of some other kookaburras and see if she comes in. We've got a couple of tapes. We'll try another one. It's kind of like starting a car in winter. We got to get it warmed up. Well, whoever named that bird Laughing Kookaburra was right on. Now, we also, I told you they eat lizards and snakes, but we don't have lizards and snakes today, so the part of the lizard is normally played by a part of the mouse, but since she didn't even want the food, that joke doesn't go anywhere, does it? Get it? Part of the lizard is played by part of the mouse. All right. Patricia wrote that joke, and she's going to get Shay a treat for hopping up on your hand, and we'll see if we can get Shay to go off stage. Thank you, Shay. Good job. Shay, Quasar. Quasar is an African gray parrot. Now, we like to bring him out when we're talking about parrots as pets, because lots of people have these kinds of birds. They have a reputation for being a great talking parrot. But you know what? Quasar says two things. So, their reputation as a talking bird may be a little exaggerated, but we like to bring him out because recent studies, right over that balloon hat, recent studies found that you have to listen to this for me real quick. 10,000 African greys are taken from the wild every year and exported to the United States and Europe. That's not sustainable. Our love for these birds is quite possibly driving them into extinction. So really remember, when you go to a pet store, if you decide to take on the considerable challenge of a wild animal as a pet, remember your actions have consequences. Make sure you buy a bird that was born in captivity. We like to bring old Quasar out to show you how beautiful he is and give you some inspiration. So do anything you can to help protect habitat throughout the world. Because even though they're being trapped in the wild, part of it is having for the pet trade, their rainforest home is probably disappearing faster than the South American rainforest. So that bird right there is in a lot of trouble. But he's certainly beautiful, and we hope we can all get some inspiration by his beauty. He's going to do one last little flight down to Patricia. Maybe one more snack, and here he comes. Like lightning. Good job. How about a hand for Quasar? Good job. He's a cool little bird. We like having him in the show. By the way, if you hear all that screaming back there, those are parrots. They do that for about an hour in the morning and about an hour in the evening, and there's no ceiling back there, so you can imagine having that in your house. Just about actually most of the parrots at our zoo were people's pets, even the macaws. People spend thousands of dollars on them, and you wouldn't believe how happy they are when we agree to take them for free. Anyway, okay, we've got another parrot, I'm sorry, not a parrot, we've got a hawk to show you now. He's another Harris hawk. This is a male Harris hawk, and his name is Hudson. So keep your eyes way up top there. Here he comes. Duck! That's a hawk. Now, it is a Harris hawk native to Mexico and the desert southwest. This is the only species of hawk that hunts in a pack, similar to lions and wolves, which is really interesting to see. Sometimes up to a dozen Harris hawks chasing a single rabbit. That's a very formidable gang of birds out there. Now, we like to bring Hudson out here in the show so you look at the different hairstyle. We're going to make sure you get a good close look at it. But he is a predator, and that's the real reason we bring him out here, because not too many folks are happy with having a predator in their backyard. Spiders, snakes, mountain lions, and wolves. But we do want to point out, if you've seen like a hawk catch a squirrel on television, it's kind of sad for the squirrel, but it's better for squirrels overall. We have to remember, there's no such thing as a healthy ecosystem unless it has a healthy population of predators. Because it is, again, it's kind of sad for the squirrel, but Predators normally catch the sick and the weak, which leave the healthy animals to survive, so we have to have predators in our world. Good job. And if you're thinking that Hudson might, you see a hawk soaring over your house, hawks don't carry away dogs and cats and children, because Hudson weighs 1 pound. 1 pound. So he's not going to take your kids away even if he wanted to. I think I forgot to mention that if you duck, he flies lower. Yeah. Don't forget it. He's very efficient. Good job. Beautiful bird. All right, Hudson, come on up here one last time. Good job. It's going to do it for Hudson. And it's also going to do it for the show. But before you leave, if you have any questions or you want a closer look, you can take pictures from right up here to the edge.